What's going on, guys? By the time I graduated college, I had two goals. One was to make over $500,000 a year, and the number two was to be a millionaire by age 30. I didn't know which one was gonna come first, and I'm happy to report that I actually hit both. And now I'm on my way to making $1 million a year. So today I'm gonna break down all of my income streams. I wanna give you guys a clear picture of how I'm doing it. That way it gives you guys some ideas on how to maybe do something like this for yourselves. And I'm gonna walk you through each individual bucket and how it all works. So let's dive on in. So like I mentioned, I was a millionaire by 30, and I got there primarily through real estate, but I also hit my goal of getting over $500,000 of income per year a few years back. I actually framed my tax return because I was so excited about finally hitting $500,000, and it stays in my office as a reminder to keep setting goals and keep leveling up the income. My new goal is to hit over $1 million per year, and I'm getting close, especially with all these different sources of income. So let me break down how I'm doing it, what I'm pulling in, and hopefully give you guys some ideas that you might be able to do as well. Okay, so starting out, I'm gonna give you guys 7 different categories with a bonus 8th category, and we're gonna start with my career or my day job, which is real estate agent. Okay, so starting off is real estate agent. This is my day-to-day job. This is what I do every day. It's my career, it's my main focus, and it's my main income source. So before I do anything else, before I touch anything else, my first priority is this career path, which is real estate agent. So I work in commercial real estate. I've done a ton of videos. I've shown you guys what a day in the life is like. I've told you how to get and fast track your license, and I've given you guys a bunch of insight just into the real estate world in general. So go check out those videos if you haven't seen them yet after you watch this. But basically, this is my day-to-day, my main career, and my main income source, as I mentioned. Now, with most brokerage firms, you have to pay the house out of whatever you make. So you basically have a split with wherever your license is hung. For some places, it's only like 10%, and then other places it's 50%. And then a lot of brokerages are kind of somewhere in the middle where it's like 30% or 20%. So whatever I make in this bucket, it isn't my final take home, but typically it's a couple $100,000, if not more. There's been years that were terrible, like when I first started out and I was making any money, or during COVID when I took a huge hit. But in most years, it's a few $100,000, if not more. And the last few years, it's been several $100,000 gross. So it really just depends on the year. It's been a great few years, and hopefully the momentum continues. But anyway, let's move on to the next bucket because it is kind of related. So the next is real estate investments, and this is a broad bucket. I actually have a lot of stuff in this, but I co-founded a real estate holding company. We buy multifamily retail, vacation rentals, single family homes, we do flips. So there's a lot packed into that. And I do get a small base salary each year. It differs a little bit, but usually it's right around $30,000. I also get rental income from the properties, and I also get a management fee because we have investors. And on top of that, there's a ton of tax benefits with real estate. I'll do some more videos about the tax benefits down the road, but that's why a lot of wealthy people have real estate, is because of all the tax benefits. You save and make a ton of money with it. And the last one is flips. I'm actually in escrow right now on my next project. Pro forma showing about a $60,000 to $70,000 profit if everything goes according to plan. The property out in the desert, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna do some videos on that, so stay tuned. But that's the upcoming flip that I'm really excited about. Should close escrow beginning of December, so just a couple weeks out. And definitely stay tuned because I'll share a lot more about that. But this entire bucket fluctuates a lot. When I was first starting out, it was a couple $1,000s. Now it's a little bit more, but I would say most years at a bare minimum, because of the salary, it's $30,000, but I've had years where it's a couple $100,000. The average year is probably $150,000 to $200,000 take home from this bucket. So the next one I just wanted to throw in here because it's something I've been doing since 2014. Started as kind of a side hustle, but it has brought in some decent income over the years, although in the last few years it's kind of been dwindling a little bit, and that is photography. It covers stock photography, stock videography. I've done drone shoots before, I've done real estate shoots before, I've done shoots of people before. I mean, it really just kind of depends on what the requirement is. The stock photography is still making money. I don't really do drone or like on-site shoots like real estate photography anymore, unless it's for stuff within my own portfolio. I just don't have time. But I did a full video breakdown on Adobe stock and my earnings on there. So if you guys want to go see what I'm making there, go check that video out. That's not the only site that I'm on several of them, and all of them each contribute monthly to basically my bank account. And this has been going on for about 10 years now. I used to make a lot more back in the day when there was less competition. Now with AI and everything else, it's really come down. So nowadays, it's like 5,000 to 10,000 a year. Back in the day, it was like 10,000 to 20,000 a year, maybe even more. So I don't have this as like a huge bucket anymore, but it's just kind of a fun creative outlet that I still enjoy doing every now and again. Okay, so the next one might surprise you. It's YouTube. And if you're looking at my subscriber count right now, only a few hundred, you're probably like, how are you making any money on YouTube? So the truth is, this is my 4th channel. I have one that's over 100,000 subscribers, and I have a TikTok that's over 350,000 subscribers. So I have other social media channels. This one is relatively new, and I'm trying to grow it. I want to grow it organically and not promote this channel on the other channel and vice versa, because with YouTube, you want a dedicated subscriber base. You don't want to pull people from other channels that are unrelated. because they won't engage with the content and your channel just won't do well. So I've been really hesitant to promote that channel on this channel, and I've been very hesitant to promote this channel on those channels because I want my subscribers here to be organic and actually interested in the content, like making money, real estate, and that kind of stuff. The other channel has absolutely nothing to do with that. So I just don't think it would make sense to promote it vice versa. But anyway, I get money from ad revenue. It's about $7,000 to $10,000 a year. There's been some years where it's been a little bit better. I get money from affiliate links, which is like the Amazon affiliate links that you see down in the description sometimes, or other sites. I get money from memberships, which is the pay to view member only videos I post on the other channel. I haven't done them yet on this channel, probably will in the future, but it's not very much income. It's like 50 to 100 bucks a month right now. It's really not much. And then there's sponsorships, which really depends on what it is, how much time it's taken up in the video, what all I'm doing for it, but that's a couple $1,000s, all the way up to about 10,000 at the max right now for those types of sponsorships. I'm only doing like one a quarter if I'm lucky. Probably want to start doing more of those, but it hasn't been a huge focus. And then there's also the TikTok, Instagram, and everything else that I mentioned, where I do get some income from that as well. And I grew that 100,000 subscriber channel for the sole purpose of not only growing the channel, but also to then launch e-commerce. So I started with a digital store on Shopify, selling only digital goods, started it during the pandemic, and it's really done well. I then since have opened a physical product store, which I opened just a couple months ago. That one's slowly ramping up. I probably need to put some more time and energy into it. Just haven't had the time. But I would say in most years, the e-commerce as a whole brings in right around $50,000, maybe like $40,000 on the low end and $60,000 on the high end, somewhere in the $50,000 range. But it's been pretty consistent revenue. I mean, $3,000 to $4,000 a month at least. So it's actually a really great little side business, just for consistent revenue. And again, it's being fed customers through the other YouTube channel. And then the next bucket, which is an area that I just started to really get more and more into, is investing in things like Robinhood, where I'm actually buying ETFs and stocks and everything else. I used to be just primarily real estate, but I realized I needed to diversify a little bit more. So I've been getting more and more into that. You've probably seen some videos on my channel talking about some of my investment strategies, but I am looking to actually invest even more. But it's just, slowly building the portfolio. I've also been investing in a few friends' companies that start like clothing lines and food companies and whatever else. I mean, it's not a lot of money. It's just to kind of help them out and see if it goes anywhere. And I like being involved, but it hasn't been a ton yet. I mean, I'd like to do more down the road, but so far, not a ton. And then watches. I've gotten really into watches the last couple of years. I haven't actually sold any, but I've bought some with the intent to sell them down the road and make some money on them. And it's been predominantly Rolex so far. Looking to get into some other brands soon, but that is another investment area that I've been looking to grow. And then the last one is other side hustles. So this one's interesting because I've done a lot of side hustles over the years. I mean, ever since like middle school and high school, I have done social media flips. I started a travel Instagram that my brother helped out with. We ended up flipping it for 50 grand. There's been some other accounts that I did the same thing for, not as high. That was the highest exit so far. I also started a supplement company that was doing really well, but it was just way too much time. So I ended up shutting it down. That was actually earlier this year. And honestly, it was going really well. It's just, it took way too much of my time answering customer emails and everything else. I've also tried drop shipping back in like 2015, 2016. I think it was like 2016, maybe 2017. Whenever drop shipping started getting big on YouTube, I learned about it, started doing it through Shopify. I opened a drop shipping store that specialized in basically attire for concerts and basically events like that, like Coachella, Stagecoach, etc. So I would do a lot of business whenever those were going on, and then it would kind of just sit idle in the off season. So I wanted to find something to basically counteract off-season slump in sales. And ironically, my manufacturers in China also made swimwear. So I started a bikini line that was actually doing really well. It even did better than the festival clothing. The only problem with that is I know nothing about bikinis. I would have customers reach out asking for sizing and fit and texture and all that stuff, and I had no way to answer it because I didn't even have the products. They were being drop shipped from China. So it's not like I could actually like feel them and tell them what the texture was like, let alone know what like the cut and the trim and all that stuff was. So that lasted like 3 months before I was like, you know what, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm making money, but doesn't feel right, so I shut it down. I still have a travel booking website open. This was part of another YouTube where I did travel videos. I thought after the pandemic wound down, there would be a huge rush to travel, and I was right. The problem is these videos take a lot of work because it's a lot of research. For some of them, you have to actually go travel and make the video. So it just was a huge time commitment, and unfortunately, I just don't have the time for it. But I was able to set up a booking site through it. And for a while, I was making a couple $1,000s a month, but now it's dwindled down to just a couple $100 a month. So probably gonna end up shutting that down sometime soon. And then the last bucket, which is kind of the bonus bucket, and that is unrealized income. So a good example of this would be the house that I'm sitting in right now that we bought in 2022 has already appreciated $600,000. And I mean, that's just crazy. I did a whole video on that. You can go watch it. But basically, that income has not been realized yet because we haven't sold. We plan to sell soon because we just bought another house, but it's crazy to think it's gone up that much. So I put this in here because you can make money through real estate pretty easily, especially as your personal residence. You just got to be sure that you're doing your research. And you also have to, unfortunately, move pretty often in order to unlock equity. But it can be worth it if it's something you're willing to do. I've made full videos on how to do that. I have a couple of them. So go check those out if you have any questions. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for my income breakdown right now. I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff that pops up in the coming years and some stuff that gets taken off of this just with everything going on. But that's pretty much how I make the bulk of my income right now. And hopefully this will lead me to over $1 million of income per year relatively soon. It's getting close. I don't know how much longer it's gonna take. It's tough to gauge just with some of them that are so cyclical. But I hope it gave you guys some ideas on things that maybe you can add as side hustles for your own income, or maybe just some ideas on how to, build some income aside from your 9 to 5. And let me know in the comments. But other than that, I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing and liking, trying to get this channel out to more people who would wanna see this as well. But that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you next time.